Hello, everyone. How are you today? Oh, child, this screen is really light. Hold on. Let me see if I can make this a little darker. I think I figured out how to do that. So I just bring this over here. There we go. That's a little better. Okay. I have two screens here, and this one is really bright. All right. It's been a minute since I've been on this channel. So in case you don't know, I now have two other channels. One is Ypifany, where I talk about all the learning and development stuff. And the other one I just started last week. It's cyber training with Ypifany, because I'm doing a lot of work with cybersecurity programs. And I'm talking about training related to that. And that's a very large population of people. Okay. So they have their own channel where I'm talking about that. All right. I just got something very interesting in the mail. Totally forgot about it. Okay. So 6 months ago, almost 6 months ago, I attended a learning program. It was a leadership development program for 30 days. Okay. It was very good, very interesting. And something that we had to do in that program was write a letter to ourselves, and our facilitator just mailed it to us. Okay, so we were going to get it mailed to us 6 months later after the program ended. So I just got it in the mail yesterday. Here it is, a letter I wrote to myself 6 months ago. Okay, and I don't remember writing any of this, but I'm reading it, right? And you all know that I've just quit my job with the federal government, really. I've been with the federal government like 17 years. So, and it was just interesting to read what I wrote 6 months ago, because it's pertaining to work. So I'm just going to read it, and then I'm going to talk about some stuff. So it says, Dear Cheryl, again, I wrote this to myself, okay? Dear Cheryl, today you graduated from the program with your colleagues. How far have you progressed? You learned and unlearned several things in the 30-day program. So how is this new knowledge showing up at work, at home, in your personal life? I hope you have been courageous and brave. I know that you have taken some very scary steps that have mostly paid off in a very real way. I know that you remembered how worthy and beautiful your soul and whole person is. The world is here for you. Live as if you have no witnesses. Be you, because you're the only one who can. Love you lots, Cheryl. So the name of this channel is Life Without a Witness, right? So, reading this, knowing that I just did something very scary, quitting my job, which is very scary. And for several reasons. It is for several reasons. Okay. Not just the fact that I need money to pay bills. There's other things, related to that. And, so reading that, seeing where I am today, and asking, because I asked myself in the letter, have I used anything that I learned, in that 30-day development? And I don't know if I can say I used something. I can definitely say that I'm more aware of stuff. If nothing else, that program helped me to see where I did not belong. Okay. So that's what it did. It really did a good job of helping me see that just was not the place for me to be. So we're doing a lot. One thing that I saw, and you read this in my book, Firing God, okay? One thing I talk about that I was able to finally see, and not just see. When I say see, I'm not talking about with the here, okay? You know how when you finally realize something, maybe realize is a better thing, because when you realize something, it's almost like a light goes off in your entire body or something. It's an experience, right? When you finally realize something. So one thing I realized when I saw that, there really was nobody out there looking at me and judging me and all this other kind of stuff. One thing I really saw and felt was that we are doing too much. We're working way harder than we need to work, really. And it's interesting that I just got this in the mail, and I remembered what I wrote in the book, because, explaining what I experienced. Plus, now I love Alan Watts, right? He's somebody that I really listened to a lot in the like years and years ago when I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on, right? So I was listening to something, just scrolling through Facebook, just came upon one of his videos today, and how he was talking about how we have it mistaken that, and I agree with this. Let me just say that, because this is what I saw. Okay. We have it mistaken that we have to, that we're on a journey. That's what he said. Like, you're on a journey trying to get somewhere. Okay. Whether that somewhere is heaven, success, happiness. I mean, whatever it is. Okay. And that's just the way that we've been conditioned to think of how we live this life. This life is all about not being here. This life is all about getting somewhere better. Okay. That's how we're conditioned to think. And that was the whole thing that fueled my, when I was a Christian, that fueled, it was all about, this isn't good enough. This is bad. I'm bad. I'm not good enough. There's I got to get somewhere else. I got to do all this stuff and do all that stuff and obey here and change that and all that, right? To get to something better or something more. That shit is exhausting. I mean, it never ends because you never get there. It's a journey with no end, like for real, which is probably why people say, okay, it must be going to happen after you die, because you ain't going to get it here. Even people who have reached some kind of success or looks, from the outside, looks like they've reached success, still miserable, still looking for something, you know what I'm saying? So in his video today, and what I was able to see is that all of that stuff is so unnecessary. It really is unnecessary. And the way, and I love the way that he explains it. He talks about, instead of being a journey where you're here and the goal is way, way, way over there, that you got to get to. Instead of life being like that or looking at it like that, it's more like music or a dance. When you're dancing on the dance floor, it don't matter what kind of dance you're doing. The object of dancing is not to get to a certain place on the floor, on the dance floor. Okay. You're doing the thing because you enjoy dancing. Like, there's some beat or whatever, and you just like to dance, Same thing with music, right? When you're listening to music, the point of the music is not to get to the end, What about now? Like, what about enjoying it right? Like, that's the whole thing is about enjoying it right now. And because we are so focused on not being here, okay, on not being in this house, not being in this car, not being in this relationship, in this state, in these clothes, with this bank account, we're so focused on not being where we are, we never enjoy anything because there's always something better, And like I said, that's exhausting. That's the thing. And I still, to this day, I will tell people every time I see them, I do not know how I was finally able to see that. All I can say is that I was so tired. I'm only 44. When this happened, when did this happen? I was like 39 or something, right? I mean, I wasn't old. I'm still fairly young. Okay. But when it happened, I felt like it was so exhausting, y'all. I'm telling you. And that's the only way. It's like if you're running. And if if you were in the military, they have something called muscle failure. You reach muscle failure and you just can't go anymore. It's physically impossible. I don't care how much your mind wants to go. Your muscles are like, nope, you done. Okay, you are finished, right? It was that kind of exhaustion, that mental, psychological, emotional muscle failure, okay, that got me to say, you know, I can't do it anymore. You know, and when I try to explain this to especially religious people, they're quick to come up with, well, I'm not going to give up. It's not like I gave up. It's like, I mean, giving up is like you have a choice. Okay, you can either give up or not give up. Like here, that wasn't the case. It wasn't the case. There was nothing left to go with. There was no fuel, is what I'm saying. And it took that. It took whatever that was for me to see everything you're doing is absolutely unnecessary. And because we are not brought up to think that way, nobody's brought up to think that way, And I just read something recently where someone said the hardest working person is probably poor. Okay. Because this narrative that we have is if you work hard, you're going to get everything. That's some bullshit. That ain't true. You know how many people are working hard in the world and still struggling? I mean, hard, working really hard, with what they have. And they're still just that. So that whole narrative is bull. Okay. What I'm trying to do is for myself, is to really change that whole belief system, right? That whole narrative. And because what I don't want to do now, I don't claim to know what this is, what happens after I die, what death is. I ain't got none of them answers. Yeah, I ain't looking for the answer. It is what it is. Okay. But what I do know is that I don't want to live whatever this is, just always being exhausted, always looking for the next thing, never just being in the moment, because I'm so busy thinking about what's next, that I can't enjoy anything right here. And there's so much to enjoy. There really is. There's a lot, like right here, right now, in the space that I'm in, without a job, on leave, there's a lot of stuff here that could be easy to ignore. But I don't want to do that, because the last time that I was just able to stop and look and see what was going on, it was life-changing. It was literally life-changing. Okay. And, I've learned from that. I've absolutely learned from that. And I appreciated it. Sorry, I'm reading a message I just got. Yeah, I have no intention of just of continuing with this, not enough, not enough, not enough. I got to keep going, keep going, keep going to get more, 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 as if that's actually true, as if there is actually more to get, I don't know. I'm going to enjoy my coffee because I love Dunkin' coffee. The weather's getting a lot cooler, even though I don't like winter. But I love the fall, though. The fall is wonderful. I just don't like being cold. That's what it is. It's not that I don't like winter, because even in the summertime, I don't like being cold. I just don't like being cold. But I'm just going to enjoy it, and not laze around and just, like I said in another video, just let stuff happen, right? That's not what we're doing over here. But I am going to, what's the word for it? I don't know what the word for it is. Right. I'm going to enjoy where I am and do what I can to engineer the outcomes that I want, without missing what's going on right now, without missing that. So, all right, I'm going to drink my coffee. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you back here really soon. Bye.